Right. Today, the topic is women's suffrage. All right. So, first, I'm going to draw information from the painting, that video. Now, let's see. We're in 1914. Okay. The Women's Social and Political Union were doing a lot of peaceful protests in the UK trying to fight for women's suffrage. It was not working. So, Mary Richardson in 1914, March 10th, she walks into the National Gallery in London. Okay. No, she's walking in there. She's standing in front of this painting here, the Rope Beat Venus. This painting right here. She's standing in front of it, and in the name of women's suffrage, she takes out a knife or a cleaver and she starts stabbing it. Now, a security guard was there, but they said he slipped. He slipped a little bit, so she had time to do a little bit more damage. Now, he eventually does stop her and subdue her. They do arrest her, and she's on the run for a minute of avoiding that. She eventually did go to prison for 6 months, but she was on the run for a minute. Now, the reason she did this is because all the peaceful protests they were trying to do, it wasn't working. So she decided to go out her way and sacrifice her time and her freedom for women's suffrage. And unfortunately, a painting had to get ruined in the process, but I think it was worth it in the end. All right. Now, the second video that I'm going to take information from is the Derby Day video. This video talks about the Emily Wilding Davison situation. And her whole plan was first she had a scarf and it said votes for women. Okay. Um, so on this day, June 1913, there's a race going on and the king is a part of it. So she wanted to attach the scarf that said votes for women around the king's horse. So as he rides through, as he rides through the winning post, it will say votes for women. So she picked out a spot, picked out the timing, she had it all planned out. But unfortunately, as she went under the railing and she was standing in front of the king's horse, it was like 4 seconds. Some other horses passed her, but the king's horse is coming at her. So, king's horse coming at her. She tries to, she's trying to get the thing over the horse, but the horse tries to jump her and knocks her over. And unfortunately, she passed away. But in whole, her plan was to just get more publicity for women's suffrage. And I think her story isn't talked about enough because it's the first time I'm hearing about it. Um, she sacrificed her life for women's suffrage. So that just shows how women are going out their way to be represented in the government. There's no representation for them. So now she lost her life because they don't want to let women vote, which is sad. Yeah. That I'm going to be taking information from is the Woman and Law video. This video dives way deeper into the legal restrictions that women had. So let's get into it. All right. So first, the problems faced by women are that they have no status in government. Um, they are not represented. They can't represent themselves. Um, so, and at the end of the day, single and widowed women did have less restrictions than married women. So I'll go ahead and get into the restrictions that married women have had. So, um, when women got married, whatever they had, if I was a woman, I had this remote. I get married. This is their husbands now. They have no property at all. Whatever is theirs is now their husbands. So they can't have any land. They can't sue anybody. They can't be sued. And I guess not being able to be sued is a good thing, but not if you're not being treated as everybody else in society. So it's another restriction. Um, Also, how all people today can write wills. Um, Married women cannot write a will. So, and that ties back to they don't even have any property at the end of the day. So, what could they give anybody? So, yeah, this video just dives deeper into the the real legal restrictions that women had at this time, which is 1832. Around this time, and this is the context of this video. Final video that I will be talking about is the suffrage march video. Now, the historical context, what was happening around this time was Woodrow Wilson was about to be inaugurated. Um, so the women, and this is U.S. Um, the women decided that would be the day we marched to Washington to protest for women's suffrage. So, women from all over, over 5,000 women, said that they will be marching to Washington and joining the protest. Women from, in the video, they said women from New Jersey um, even marched to Washington. So, that's March 3rd, 1913. Um, they marched to Washington. So while they're there, of course, people are waiting for Woodrow Wilson to get sworn in. And so there's a group of men, and then there's these women, and of course, they don't like the thought of women wanting to vote. So they come over to him, and they had like railings to keep the women inside on the sidewalk. They go under the railings, start attacking them, ripping their clothes, spitting on them, taking their signs. Um, and it's getting so packed. Matter of fact, as you can see here, it's getting so packed. People can like barely move. Women are getting attacked. So speaking on people can barely move, the ambulance people had to like push people out the way because at the end of the day, over 100 women had to be rushed to the hospital because of their injuries. So you can tell it was very violent. At they eventually did complete their march. And at that point, over 200 women had to be treated for injuries at the hospital. So, as the women are being attacked, of course, you call police. What do the police do? They are seen joining the men harassing the women. So, the cavalry had to be called, and yeah, they protected the women. They let the women pass, and so yeah, that's when they eventually did complete their march. But this is just another example of how hard it was for women to even protest peacefully. Um, Honestly, they had railings to stay on the sidewalk, so I don't think they were in anybody's way. Um, so yeah, it's just a sad situation all around. And yeah, of course, we're all good now. There probably is still minor grievances, but we are on to better days.